not taking any public comment, only be
I at least want to zoom it, see what's being said.
that would be great.
Yeah. All I know is that after
Okay,
meeting,
Rick.
talking with
Charlie.
the three of us decided we're not gonna go. Because we don't want this to be a great big jam fest where they're all mad at us.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are all.
We're okay.
Very good.
Commissioners, I just wanted to give you guys a brief update. I don't think this will need to take more than a few minutes, unless you guys wanted to get into some details, but the planning commission did forward a positive recommendation to you guys last Tuesday of the draft plan as it is.
That right there.
Mhm.
Okay, we got it.
Now, what you'll see as you flip through the plan, every once in a while, you'll see some red text with brackets on either side.
The ones with brackets.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, the red text with brackets means that we've got either a graphic or an image or a graph that's going to be inserted that
like version 1.4.
sort of, that one is denoting the title of it, but like this, insert population projection.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you.
So
Okay.
that is just indicating that there's going to be something inserted in the final document that you'll be able to see that isn't shown in the Word document. The planning commission public hearing went very well. I don't know if you guys stayed long enough to hear that, but we had 8 people
Well,
speak.
I was there for 2 hours and finally got up and left.
Charlie, they said you'd added had quite a gas tank. You just kept going and going and going.
I planned on doing an hour presentation and it went about an hour and 15 and then they opened it for public hearing. So I apologize for being so long.
No,
It's
no, it's just, I'm kind of teasing you there a little bit.
108 pages in an hour. Maybe
That's a lot.
We'll distill it that way.
108 pages is a lot.
But I just wanted to talk to you guys about the schedule and see what you guys want to do moving forward. We can bite off chapters in little chunks at work session and then go to a public hearing. You guys can read and study and call me up at your leisure and have me answer questions if you'd rather, and then just do a final public hearing. Right now, what we had previously scheduled was a work session. And then on August 9th, which is a week from Tuesday, a public hearing. And so I really just need to know whether or not you guys want to keep that public hearing out there, or if you'd
Well-
rather turn that into a August 8th work session. And then punt the public hearing. a little.
I have my opinion on this.
Speak up.
I'd like, if we're gonna do a public hearing, I think that ought to be at, not at 10 a.m. I'd like to see it at maybe 6 p.m.
Right?
It is the night, the problem is it's the night before the fair.
That's okay. Doesn't affect anybody. I mean, they just gotta drive over and look at it. Most of their people are taking their animals into the fair on the morning of the 10th.
Well, where it affects a lot of people the night before the fair, you know,
I wonder if we should have this public hearing at the or at the elementary now. Although we've met there several times, I don't know if we need to be there. No sense in not having it right here.
Right. And the planning commission had their hearing here. It's up to you guys on what you guys want to do. Going outside of this building gets technical and challenging. For example, Rick and I were just talking about this about tonight's meeting. The school district has their internet locked down. And so they need to know what your IP address is in order to open that up. Now, the principal, when we were out at the school district, they were able to get a hold of district IT so they could just open it to the general public just for that night.
Yeah,
But it's almost an act of Congress. to
yeah,
get that done.
understand what you're going through.
So,
Well, Harv, frankly, we've been doing this the whole time. Elections are over, it's time. Let's
I don't
open
care
her up.
about, no, but I don't, yeah, I'm good with all that. I don't have any issue with that.
Yeah,
It doesn't have nothing to do with the election for me. It has to do with the availability of the people to be able to get there and if they, you know, to take a look. And
and I'm okay with holding that at.
My only thing is where we got
5
the
or
people at the
5:36.
fair, but it's the day before the fair and it'll create a little bit of a buzz and a thing, and maybe it's good to, you know, the people maybe it's good for people to talk about it during the fair, and that way we're available out there, we can answer questions for them. I got no issue with that.
Well,
I'd say that's what you do.
I'm the people that go ahead.
now, when
So-
you have the public
so-
hearing, do you want the option to be able to make a decision on it that night, or would you rather? wait?
Well, in public hearings you can.
Close that down there, Charlie, if you would. So we have a public hearing.
Close it down? Oh, close the
No.
side thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Well, yeah,
There you
so, the point is, as far as actions, we could do it at this time, or we could just go ahead and make it a public hearing. And the very next Tuesday, we can have it on the agenda for an action and it'd all be done. And
Well, so-
I don't really care either way.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay either way. You can make this you can do it in a work session. Doesn't matter. I just kind of need to know where and when and whatever.
What day of the week is August 9th? You know,
It's a
It's
Tuesday.
a
it's a
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Well, I think we ought to go ahead and have this at 5 o'clock that night.
You want to do it at 5 or 6?
I'll 6.
5 to 7? Is it, the public hearing is where it's a formal action, right?
But it's where you
No.
open it to the public and they come up to the mic. Now you can choose to make a decision, or you can table it and to another day.
We have Western River Planning Commission that night.
On the 9th?
Uh-huh,
Oh, how did that happen? Oh, that's right, because I put 10 o'clock. Well,
yeah,
until the, oh, never mind.
Well-
They've got stuff happening, don't they?
they do.
I know Gage wanted to do it at night. He
Yeah.
told me it'd be nice to have the people, then people are off at work.
Want to do the day before, Monday? So we're not.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too.
Or we could shift it to the next Tuesday at night. There's no planning commission that night.
I'm okay with that too.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we do the 16th.
Hold on, let me get to our calendar. You know, he rides us like a rented mule. And so, Jonas, yeah, I could do Tuesday. I could do either one. Yeah,
That might be good, because then that would be after the fair.
yeah. Then we can tell people about it.
Yeah.
My big thing is I just want people to, every chance we get, I want people to know.
Is there room for booths at the fair? Or is it too late to plan that out?
You'd have to call Ashton out there. And I'd go in, if it were me, I'd go inside the building. And
Yeah, we could have
air
some-
conditioning, got new air
We could have some
conditioning.
plans right along the walkway there somewhere.
Oh,
From their offices or something like
you know,
that.
there's usually always a hole.
Yeah,
Well, there's always a hole, 801-399-8711. I gotta get in my mind. Hold on, I wanna make sure, is that the right number? 8277. I could say 801-399-8711. I could be wrong. Better, hold on.
what's this?
Well, because here's the thing, they could do a booth out there during the fair and then have that, you could do another thing out there and just say, hey, we got a meeting coming up on this date. Rick, you'd have to babysit it with folks in your department, but going out in the fair, they could have, you know, a walking taco or a bacon wrapped corn dog or something that really is healthy
Yeah.
for them.
That's what I'm talking about. Fill up my staff, Commissioner.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all for the benefit and edification. All right, so we're going with Ashton. All right, 801-399-8711. Okay, hold on. Our folks in planning will be calling you about a booth inside the rec building. ... If there are any available. Question mark. Or they could be on a standby list if someone does not show up. Period. It's about Western Weaver planning and would fit in very well. Okay, there now I've laid the ground. There you go.
We don't even need a booth. If there's wall space, then we just hang some signs up.
There's not. You're not gonna put them on the doors and stuff like that. People are blocking. There's no, every square inch is taken.
Yeah, but in the walkway where the offices are going around there, there's
Oh,
always.
you know, we could do that.
There's always spots there.
Find out what Ashton tells you, and if there's a problem, we could put it over inside the Golden Spike, or we could put it in the writing, and we'll find some wall space somewhere to put you somewhere where you can.
So I'm of the opinion we should
I
have
like
this public
idea a
hearing
lot.
August 8th, that night at 6 o'clock.
Monday,
6 o'clock.
Do you want the hearing before the fair, before we set this up?
But what if we approve it on the 8th, then?
Well, we could approve it then.
I would like to have people sound off and be able to think about it a week. It's a
Well-
big enough deal. When we've waited all this time,
We could have the public hearing on the 8th. We could actually approve it on the 9th. At our commission meeting. Very next day.
You set the agendas and I respect that, but I don't think there's any error in giving people just another week to just think about it and say, because what I don't want to do is have people say, Well, they just rushed that right through, you know, here they spent 18 months looking at it and they put it through in a day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take the ammunition away. That's what they'll do. No
So,
matter how much time we've given them over the last 6, 8, 10 months. You know,
let's
that's.
plan on the 8th today at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll approve it on the 16th.
Okay, okay, and then we'll set up a booth at the fair.
Mhm.
Okay,
And if we put on the agenda on the 8th that no action will be taken, would that be appropriate?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
so what? I
Yeah,
recommend
that'd be
doing then-
great for me. If the chair's okay with it.
I'm
Let's,
okay, I just don't wanna get there and have you make a motion to do it.
I got mosquito abatement that night, but I can miss
Oh,
that.
what time?
6. Well, just miss it.
Well, we could have this from 5 to 7. I
It's
don't know.
family night.
By the way, they've done a good job on mosquitoes out there this year. There's been a couple of nights they got away from them a little, but they got right back on it.
Do you know what's made all the difference in the world? The drone. They have this drone that's this big. And they have it in the bed of a truck and they go up with that truck and pull that whole thing out. And then that drone, they set that drone, it has a huge hopper underneath it. They pour that stuff in there, then that drone goes up and it runs a pattern that they've programmed into the GPS. And it can get into areas that they could never get into with trucks or sprayers. And then when it gets close to out of battery or out of stuff, it comes right back to the thing. The guy just changes the battery, pours in new stuff, hits the button,
what was
and
that?
it finishes it up.
The movie Interstellar? Is that it? Everything was controlled by automation?
Like, this is how this works for the mosquito. Those drones they're
It's
amazing.
amazing the world we live in now, isn't it?
Yeah, Interstellar, and they have these out there in the real world. They had a tractor that went out. It did its thing in the field, and then when it was done, it just went right back and parked itself in the barn.
Yeah, well, I'm looking right now, sorry to get so distracted, but I'm looking for my place out there. I'm looking for, it's a lawnmower that will, first off, it'll do hills at 75-degree hill angle. It'll hold on a hill 75 degrees.
Just a rider?
This is a robot.
Mhm.
You don't ride it, and you get on your computer and you program in where you want it to go. It has obstacle avoidance. It can be submerged.
No kidding.
It can, and this thing, and so what it does is you just put in a garage, it has a little docking station, and it goes and it runs.
It's a Roomba vacuum.
It's a Roomba, but for your lawnmower, then it parks itself and then it runs, so you can run it. It's electric, runs all night long. You're never interrupted. You can work it opposite your sprinkler schedules. If it's out there working and it starts to rain sensors, it goes back, parks itself, waits for it's
That's cool.
phenomenal.
That's very cool.
Wow,
It's
And they're
amazing the
cheaper
world
than a
we
ride,
live
they're
in.
cheaper than a rider,
wow.
you know, but it's only about, I think it's a 34-inch. But that can, and it has 4-wheel suspension, wheels are about like that, it just,
Nice.
That's really cool.
Well, then on the 16th, we'll
Have a decision.
do final.
hold on.
So
The
are you-
16th of is the,
Regular commission meeting.
yeah,
It's 10 AM. Okay.
Yeah.
So 8th at 6 PM
Mhm.
and then the 16th at your normal time. Are you okay if we go into public hearing on the 8th and just leave it open? And so written comments can then be submitted until, let's just say, Friday.
Yeah.
of that week. Okay, good.
are you gonna have public hearing on that item on the commission meeting too?
No? No, on the commission, it'd just be final approval.
Okay,
So when we're out at the fair, we'll just have little comment cards that people.
hold on. Do we have to do this in a first reading and a second reading?
It's a resolution, not a hearing.
Yes.
I mean, not a.
Ordinance.
Okay. I just trying to protect us.
Yeah. Just as simple. Then,
And we need to get, this is big enough that I want to get Sasha involved and really advertise the heck out of this.
So
So-
she did a great job at advertising the hearing that we had last week.
I don't want you to call Lindsay, I want you to call Sasha.
Yeah.
And I want you to get all this information with Sasha and get everything on there. And let people know that there will only be a hearing on this date, and we put it specifically at night so people could attend.
Okay.
And then,
Get with Tim on that too.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Sounds good. And I'll get this
Yeah.
updated and we'll rock and roll.
Well, we're down here, and you know, if we happen to get 10 or 15 comments on something specific, then maybe we'll have to change something. But unless we do, this is it.
Okay.
We're looking at
you've
it
done a
right
nice
here.
job.
Charlie, you've done a good job on this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you overwhelm me a little at times, but you know, I sat right
It's a
next to
lot.
Gene Stevens. And you know him, he was a planning commissioner in this last meeting,
Mhm.
and he had nothing but compliments for you.
Good.
So
Appreciate that.
that's good.
Yeah, it was fun to put together and I think we were able to utilize our consultants with the limited funds that we had, just on a little bit. Oh, let me show you just kind of a preview of what a polished document might look like. Which if we're going on the 16th for final, I don't know if we'll have the polished document in front of you, but that's the front page. It'll be a spiral bound on that side for if it's
You
a
bet.
hard copy. And then you just go into. the
There we
document
go.
From there.
It's good.
Hold on, go back to that triangle map above. Oh,
Which one? This one?
no. A little more. Right there, you're getting there. Does it include Fremont Island anymore?
Nope. Fremont is there.
Well,
and that's part of it.
Yeah, but this is the county boundary. That's the Western
Well,
Weaver.
okay,
So, yeah.
yeah, okay, I just was getting confused.
Yeah, and see.
Look at that peninsula coming off there in the South Ogden.
Did you see, I hate to bring this up, did you see where that little girl was raped in South Ogden the other day?
No.
Yeah, a little 9-year-old girl. And I was so sad. They finally run this kid down. And he'd been in the United States for 2 frickin' months
Oh my.
from Mexico.
Guatemala.
Guatemala, was it? Well, but the point is, he come across the southern border. That was so sad. That little gal come out of the restroom and he cornered her in there where she couldn't get away. So took her right back in and raped her.
It's not his
I'm
first.
telling you, Harv.
It's not his first either.
Yeah, that's the point. Was his first.
I got a solution to that problem.
I do too. They need to castrate that sucker.
With a dull butter knife.
Boy, I tell you, I feel so bad for that little girl and her family. You know, this is starting to affect us at this level in our communities now.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
You know.
Hey, I didn't mean to bring-
Send it back, but I'll tell you what, it wouldn't have been, if I was a dad, I may have,
He was deported once before and he came back in illegally, according to the article.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get us off here, but that just, last night I was watching the news when they said that he was an illegal. It's like, are you kidding me? And then the gal said 2 months. He'd been there 2 months. Boy, that just absolutely puts me over the edge. I feel so bad for these moms and dads and that little girl.
Yeah.
I have to say, she's
she in the
one.
park with her parents or?
No, but you think about this,
No.
my wife said that, and I told her, I said, Beck, come on, 9 years old, in the city park up there, it was during the middle of the day,
Oh,
we wouldn't have had any qualms about sending our 9-year-old over there with the other kids to play.
no.
You know, I wouldn't have hesitated,
Yeah.
9's fairly old. I just drives me nuts, I feel so bad for them.
Well, the planning commission, they had one additional request besides adopt the plan. And that is they asked you not to take any action on new rezones until we get all the ordinances updated to reflect what's in the plan. I think what they're really asking for is just proceed with caution with any new development. We got people knocking down the door thinking that the plan is 30-acre lots everywhere, and that's not the only thing the plan says. Plan talks about 30-acre lots with open spaces and good street connections, and so.
So they all have to come in and get rezoned.
Mhm. One by one.
Yeah.
And commissioners, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball because Scott Perks put in his 2 weeks notice.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
What's happened here?
he is going to North Logan. He's accepted a job as the Community Economic Development Director there. So. we
Good
are
for him.
very
Sad for us.
about that. I tried to, say, hey, can I try to sweeten the
Yeah,
pot?
can I
and keep you
counter it?
here? And he's like, no. And I said, I'll go to bat and I'll talk to the commissioners for you. And he said, no, it's because he lives up there.
Oh, does
His
he?
wife's from there, his family's from there. And so he's
Oh,
like,
so
"No,
good
this
for
is
him.
where-"
We gotta celebrate this.
Yeah.
Just hate to lose these good ones, oh. They're so hard to find. When you get a good one, you don't wanna lose them.
Yep.
I told him I wasn't gonna talk to him for 2 weeks.
And he broke
Then
up
I'll
with
be
Joe
right
on the
back.
phone. I was on
The day after he
vacation.
did.
He's like, I gotta call and tell you. And I was like, oh, man.
He did it over the phone?
Yes, felt like a cheap hooker.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Oh, that's too bad. He is one great guy.
he is, so,
Yeah,
So when
we
did you start
really like
advertising
him.
that, or do you know any, you have anybody that you already, or when did you learn about this?
I learned about it on Friday and.
Oh, happy holiday weekend.
Yeah, I was on vacation too.
And so you guys are gonna get slammed with all these new things and you're down a man and
Yeah, and
That's the
that's,
concern that we have.
that's a big concern that we have right now is
the
that
fair.
maybe we try to, hold off on the rezones and that until we get, that person in. I don't want to put a moratorium out there because no one wants to say that word. but
Sure.
If we can just kind of hold back on things a little bit, until we get that position filled, but I don't want to run in and hire someone. I want to get that right fit because this is a really important
Oh,
position for
say.
Road Range.
He was a really good fit too.
He was a good fit. He
Yeah.
liked you guys. You operated well in the system.
Yeah.
Well spoken, he was respectful.
Plus, we all really liked him. He was a nice guy, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you gotta work with somebody, it's kind of nice to work with somebody that's nice.
Well, so he knows what
was
it's
a
like
nice
to be
guy.
30,
Not
40
anymore.
degrees below zero.
Sorry, it was that.
It's nice, he'll know what it's like to be 30 or 40 degrees below zero, many days of the
Wind
year up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true. They get those inversions up there. Logan's a tough place in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
but it's all right, I think they have broadband, I don't think they have, they got 3G.
man, Gage, how they were just telling us to Scott Perk, give notice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Where's
He's
he
one
going?
fine guy.
He's going to North Logan to be the Community and Economic Development Director
Yeah,
there.
you can't help him for taking other stuff. We just
Yeah.
hate to
Well,
lose him.
he's from there and his wife's
Yeah.
up there, so they're going home. So,
He was good.
yeah.
We're gonna
So
have
we
to talk about
decided,
time.
Gage, to have,
Sorry, I'm pulled up.
Monday night as the public hearing.
We just can't do it
8th
Tuesday
of
night,
August.
This coming Monday?
8th of August.
8th of August, we can't do it this coming, can't do it on Tuesday because it's planning commission,
Yeah,
and I know we wanted to do that at night.
yeah, I'd like to
Yeah, and that's okay.
give everybody the last.
So Monday
opportunity.
was open, the 8th.
Yeah, Monday the 8th. I like that.
You'll
And
have to
then-
talk, you'll have to do your family home evening the night before, or
I'll
the
get
night
it,
after.
I'll get it done, Sunday night.
Okay,
And then the 16th, at our commission meeting was when we'll approve it.
a week,
Okay.
a week and a day later.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
we don't do it the next day, so people think we're just rushed it through.
Yeah. So 8th for the public hearing.
Are you still gonna have a regular meeting on the 9th at 10 o'clock for county commission?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll still have our regular meeting.
And for the folks who say we rushed it through, I mean, it's not hard for me to tell people that you guys were at work sessions with the planning commission,
That's
for
right.
several work sessions. This has been
We worked
in
on
progress
this
for
for
over a
2
year.
freaking
Thank you.
years almost.
Yep.
So, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, perfect.
And then we'll approve it on 16th, and unless we get a bunch of people talking about some specific thing in here, this will go through.
Yeah, and you had good comments, or you didn't have a
Wasn't a
lot of
wild
negative
turnout.
comments when you had the planning commission.
No,
We had 8 people comment, 4 of them just said, this is great.
4 said, great.
4 said, great. 1 said, you put open space on the property that we want to develop, and the answer is, well, you guys developed it as open space. So they wanted to flip their open spaces development.
Is that Tyler Brenchley? Oh, yeah, he called me a couple times. I just said, no, I said, the best we could probably even consider, if you want to go out and you've got, if you, what do they have, like 10 acres or 15?
Yeah, 10.
If you want to go out and buy a 20 or 30 acre parcel and then donate that for a park, and then
Maybe.
I said, maybe, you know, we might consider that.
Yeah.
But
And that little open space that they're thinking about, it's right next to the school-owned property. The school, the rumor is they might not be building a school right there. Maybe that property could be the park. So,
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's some possible flexibility in the future,
No, they-
but we want to make sure there's parks in good areas.
well, and they did that under the basis that that would be open space. That's why they got their density.
That's right.
You don't have your cake and eat it too.
That's right.
That was the rules of the game back then.
We were
That's
all,
right.
we were all looking at their proposal because they had a road stubbed right into the open space.
Yeah.
And I said, what is this? And Steve said, well, they're just proposing it to be stubbed in. I said, oh.
Hey, look, they can come rezone,
Mhm.
go to another new zone.
They could try something different, right?
That's right. We're not preventing them.
Now, the
No.
plan itself says that property should be zoned as open space, but right now, not until we actually zone it as open space will it be
Right.
zoned open space.
All right, so
Well,
there
didn't
we
the
go.
guy say the open space he'd taken in the park? The guy from the park district, what's his name?
Roger.
Hepworth?
Heslop, Heslop, Roger Heslop.
What about him?
He wanted all those open spaces in the park and take care of them.
Well, it depends on what size they were
5 acres.
and if
20.
they have water or not.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the secret.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't, they've turned a half, well, not a half dozen, they've turned multiple parks down out there
So they don't have
because they
water.
didn't give any water with it. And he said, look, You gotta give us water if we're gonna make it a park.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
I'm glad he's out there.
Yeah.
On Monday, I've got a work session set up with you guys to talk about the park that runs along the river. That's just,
Yeah.
that's just part of the plan here.
Yeah,
And
we
so
see that,
So you think we're covered there?
What
Yeah.
page is that, Charlie?
right there, page 32. There's a picture of it.
Yeah, it shows park all along there and then shows little.
Emerald
parks
necklace, that's a
along-
good
What
way to
type of
put
zone?
that.
It would be O1.
Oh, one, okay.
32.
So, and that'll, whether we zone that linear area to the O1 or we just get it preserved through development or whatever. I mean, when you zone it, it's probably gonna need to be zoned with adjacent properties. So we're working with the same landowners. Otherwise, we're just rezoning somebody's property to the O1 zone. Unless it's something that you guys feel passionately about, then yeah, maybe that's one of the first actions we could do is go in there and rezone a 200 or 300 foot buffer around the river as open space.
Well, I really think we should do that personally.
Right.
Okay.
I think it'll add value to the properties.
It'll add value to the property. It takes any, somebody coming in and then fighting at that point in time.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're buying. So if they go out and negotiate with a farmer, they can say, look, this is open space, it's preserved. They're not gonna be paying 100,000 an acre for it.
Right.
So they can't come in and say, look, we just paid 100,000, now you gotta give us additional density. So it takes that out of the equation.
You see the shape that's on page 32 that takes in a lot of, or if not all of the proposed floodplain boundaries. So not what's in existence today, what FEMA has proposed to implement. And
But something like this can be in a floodplain. yeah.
that's the whole idea was to
the
identify this
whole
as the
idea.
open space.
So we literally come in there and put road base and a berm and a few culverts along there, to let water move, and that's it.
Yeah, and
That's the way I look at it, Gabe.
That's a good look right there.
That's a good look. I love that look.
the park
And
district
I was
the
up
idea
in
too.
Logan just over the weekend, and as you drive
Oh,
through
yeah.
there, they have that Logan golf course, River
Oh,
Bend Golf Course.
Logan River.
And they have, Logan River, and they have a walking path right like that, going right along the golf course all through there. It's beautiful.
I like that idea because it's very unique. It's neat. And I would like to see, I'd like to see that path continued all the way clear down to
The bay.
well, not to the bay, but then take it somehow to connectivity to the Davis County line. and pick up there. I had a guy call me today and say, look, I gotta get my car. I wanna be a little more friendly with the active transportation. And I'm gonna go get a hitch put on my car at the U-Haul. And I live in the Uinta. And so I just want to take my car down, drop it off, and I'm gonna ride my bike home.
Oh,
How do I do that?
I'm glad they asked that question.
I says, well, you gotta go, you gotta either ride the 31st Street Viaduct out over with all those cars, and then take a left on Parker Drive, and then go over in Riverdale and go out that way, or you gotta backtrack to 24th Street and get on the River Parkway and go out and around, clear out and around and down the river, and
Yeah,
yeah.
there
No,
needs to be another connection.
right.
Right, there's, whether they put concrete walls along I called Caldwell, I says, you gotta make that a little easier for people. That east-west is tough for us. If we're trying to encourage active transportation
So where are you talking, go east and west?
on
Along
31st Street,
Or
on 31st Street.
Yeah, you're right. You
That's a
can't go
huge
west,
corridor
yeah.
going out Midland Drive and everything. The rail trail would be way out west, but there needs to be a protected, I don't like riding my bike when people are whizzing by me at 50 and 60 miles an
Oh.
hour.
These guys ride the road bikes, they take their life.
scares the heck out of me.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell you, UDOT has come a long way, but I don't think they're there quite yet. So UDOT is doing a lot of active transportation planning. Now a requirement in their own rules to do active transportation planning as they're doing street planning. But there's still folks who work for UDOT that say not every route can be something for every user. And I would say freeways shouldn't be cycled on.
I agree with that.
Everything else should have.
But
something
boy, I
that's
tell you, when
allowed
you
by-
look at electric bikes now, the
Agreed.
popularity of them and how good they are,
Mhm.
good night.
Or
Hell.
scooters.
Or scooters. I mean, there's no reason
Yeah.
why you can't just get on one of those and just scoot right in.
Well,
You know,
Back.
our first trip, we left our house, we went clear down to we went down to or over to the ranch, and then down into South Weeper and over into Riverdale and back up, and it just got scary on that road that goes down to Carquith. They call that 300 West. But as it turns and goes down there.
I've got another appointment I gotta go to.
Well, the more of those trails we can put in,
Better it
it's
is.
gonna add value, we're gonna go a little green. Harvey said we have people at the parade that said, thanks for going green, we're on the electric scooters.
A lot of people up and down that parade. Way to go, way to go.
I'm
I
glad
love the
they did.
green.
Commissioner, very quickly, these guys out here, they're asking for a couple of minor tweaks. They would like that what they're proposing in their master plan, just to reflect what's here or vice versa. One of the things they would like, the darker red is mixed use commercial, lighter red is vehicle oriented, like bigger box. They would. they
Bigger
wanna see
what?
Bigger, like big box stores. So they want to see this darker red and then another anchor of darker red. They are going to work with FEMA to completely remove the floodplain on their property. And they say it's only a matter of like 3 or 4 inches that they have to deal with.
I'm all for that.
Okay, so that'll be darker red right there, and then they'll have big box in between the two.
How they
dark
gonna
reds.
get the road connectivity over the track?
They're actually gonna connect right across the river.
Right across the river.
Yeah, but how they didn't answer my question.
Bridge.
How are you gonna get over the tracks, the railroad tracks from out there?
Right, well, long-term, there'll be 8-300, which will have a bridge, and then we will be expecting.
4700.
7,500 today goes across.
Yeah, but at
7,500 goes
4,700.
We'll keep that at grade, and then 7,100, we would expect some kind of a bridge or some facilities. I told them today that I'm even looking at 6,700 as possible connection, because if this side grows too,
It
that railroad is going to be a dividing line that says you're not on the right side of the track.
67 is probably not a bad road to take that across, because that 67 continues farther into Plain City and
Yep.
through.
I agree with that, Gage.
And we just want to make sure there's strong connections across the track so that we're looking at a community even though.
So I think 67 has more connectivity than anything else.
okay at that.
Okay, so this side of the river will look a little bit different on the map that comes to you guys next week, but other than that.
Well, Doug answers
everything
in the
else,
next drill waiting for me.
No, that's
what
what
you
you
would
would be.
We
Oh,
good
is
up in
it?
here?
No, it's not.
Keep it
Oh, I
as-
thought it was with
Yeah.
Doug.
No, you asked me
So
to
this is
set a meeting. up
business
with you
oriented.
on the phone.
Just business
So
oriented.
business-
No,
Well, this
they're not
commissioner and then
manufacturing.
talk.
Yeah, it's just, you
Guys are not.
Okay.
so don't worry.
They're not.
That'll be a long meeting.
They're not.
Okay, yeah.
So you don't have a meeting now?
Well, I thought I did, but
That's
it
what it
was
is.
with him to talk about. So we're okay.
So now you're
I
okay.
just wanted to make sure there wasn't any confusion about it.
Charlie, you've done a good job here, bud. I want you to know that.
That's good.
You've reacted to the questions we had and the things we wanted you to do, and all in all, I'm very, very happy.
Good, happy to hear it. Commissioner Jenkins, I just mentioned, these guys have been calling, they don't like brown, they want to go back to purple.
Where's that?
That's between Weaver River and the Little Weaver, north of 12th Street.
They came in and
The
talked-
Hanson group,
They
or the
came-
Watson group.
What do they want to do?
So they came in and talked to us after we had that meeting with you
Yeah.
guys about changing that to purple to office. What is it? Office.
Business office and
business
tech
office,
park
yeah.
is what it was.
And they want to
I don't
do
mind that.
more manufacturing. And he says, well, if you could possibly sell office tech around the edge of it along the river and have a trail system and then have warehousing and maybe manufacturing in the middle of that, so it protects the neighborhood. You might try to sell that to the county commissioners and see, if they buy off on it. But
We kind of see like brown, that kind of does a little U shape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But the last conversation we had with you guys was take that purple off and have that as an office tech park.
I agree.
And so that's something that they're coming in tomorrow, just to talk to staff internally to show us some proposals of what they want to do. And then they'll probably be trying to approach you guys fairly quickly, to see if you could change your mind about that.
Yeah, I told Stephanie, I was dead set. There's gotta be a better buffer that can't start, you can't.
You would
have
never know it's there while you're driving down
Yeah.
12th Street. I like that idea,
That's too big a change for that area.
It is.
That's, yeah.
Okay, so we good if I flip that to, we'll keep that brown right up against the street and then back in the back, some
Maybe
purple, or
some
would you
purple
rather
back.
see just brown, just leave it as it is? Sorry, it has crosshatches on it because it's currently in an agricultural protection area, but they'll have to remove that when they go to develop. The question is brown, purple, or some combination. You guys have any preference?
Or do you want them to come to you and try to sell it to you guys before?
Well, I told Stephanie, I didn't really want to meet with them again. They've had direction from us, what we wanted to see, deal with you. That's my main,
Okay,
Okay,
I don't need to meet with them again.
okay, perfect.
I don't either,
okay, sounds
but
good.
I'd support a brown purple combo,
I would too.
just so you know.
If with officer on the outside. Yeah, I mean, I'd
So the
probably
buffer,
do
like
that,
you were
but not
talking
all
about.
purple.
The trees and the, you would never
Right.
know it's there.
Love it. Okay, I'll make.
Straight purple's out in my mind.
No.
Brown with the inside purple.
That's the compromise.
And
Only if they were asking nicely.
Yeah,
and our part.
and I don't want them coming in and, they may not want to come in and tell us that our West Weaver mega site is, full of hot air, that this is gonna solve all our problems.
For
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
we'll make sure.
That doesn't sell well.
And another thing that we've asked them to do is on our general plan has a trail system along the
Yeah.
riverway.
Both sides.
Yeah,
So the little weaver right here, those thumbs that are right there.
at their
They'll-
expense.
They'll own all that. Oh, yeah. They're gonna install it. So maybe that'll be
Well,
our first
so-
open space rezone.
While you're on that, you brought that up, Charlie, I didn't. So I'm gonna run with it for a second.
Should I?
You got a pen right there?
Can I borrow yours? Barb?
I want to point here. So you see this waterway right there? Goes through here and down through here. And then it connects here, comes back up and round here. I always thought that was a natural waterway. Well, I'm of the opinion now that is not a natural waterway.
Is that the one that, the Little Weaver, or what is it?
No, it's not the word of Little Weaver. So what ends up happening, Gage? I always thought this was a slough that drained the land behind it. Well, when these guys bought Wade's Dairy, they told us the Wades pump into that off the river. They take river water they own and they pump into that slough.
No, that's true. So I bought all the Millbrook Farm was this. and some of
I
this.
remember the Muirbrook,
And so
right?
this was nice.
Let's see, Muirbrook was right off this one. They're right back in here.
Well, Millbrook Dairy was right here. They owned all this. They went into foreclosure. We bought some of this. That was Zions Bank. I bought it from
Uh-huh.
Zions Bank. So this was Knight Dairy right there. Not Wade's. It was, remember Don Knight?
I don't, but that's okay.
Anyway, so this was Knight's
Well,
Dairy.
Wade Wade eventually got bought all
And
that.
then this was his brother, Alma, and this was the pond, so they pumped out of that, and they had this side, and they had some of this right here on this side, and a little bit right here. But that's how they used to irrigate that.
Well, right, so the point is, this pond in the winter's all but dried up. Well, in the summer, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah.
Well, they fill it up and use it, so they have water all the
Yeah.
time to irrigate into their fields.
Okay.
So
That's
it's,
true.
yeah, well, so when you look at this, when you come over here on
5, 6,
3,500 right there.
36 and then
It's 30.
35.
Okay, well, it's this right up in here then. It starts right here at those people's place and they complain about it that being so high there. And anyway, that comes around here and you can kind of see the edge of that. It
Yeah,
goes right
yeah.
into there and wastes into here. And then it goes along here and behind Gibson's Dairy. And this
Yeah.
all comes up into here. Well, all of that, I'm of the opinion we should do a wastewater study in there and study that and decide, ultimately, we're gonna wanna cover that damn ditch in.
Probably so, yeah.
Wastewater or stormwater?
Well, we've
Either.
gotta decide. Today, it's really ag water.
Right.
And over here, it is storm water.
Right.
But all of these irrigated fields, when they get done, they waste their, when you
Okay.
irrigate a field, you start at
Tailings.
one end and irrigate it through, and at the other, yeah, tailings, wastewater funnels out and goes into these.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so I'm of the opinion that we should do a study on that and decide ultimately what to do with that ditch. Because as this develops now, and it'll start here, I'm of the opinion we ought to just cover the damn ditch in.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Unless we want to use it as stormwater.
Well, who's got rights to that water?
Well,
Once it,
today, Gibson's, they have
so they got
Two
a
or
pond
three.
here, right?
and they have a 2 or 3 acre a foot filing on that.
Yeah,
And Ron told me he irrigates 80 acres
Yeah.
right here off that.
yeah.
So, yeah. Well, when you go down right there where it gets little, you go down along the river and Ron's got a head gate there. So he backs that water up into that slough and
Yeah.
irrigates with it.
And then he pumps out of it, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what Wade's are doing here.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, we gotta study that.
Okay.
That,
Well, now'd be the time to study it.
that's
And then-
right.
And there's some money out there through the state for this drought mitigation. They would probably pay, they'd pay people to put that money in the Great Salt Lake.
And when you say study that, study holding the water, study getting rid of the water? what-
Well, studying, number one, how was it created?
Okay.
Number two, who owns the water rights on it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Number three, is it usable? Cause right now, Ron Gibson backs up and irrigates his field, but when he backs it up, the water goes all the way around, clean over into there.
wow, okay,
And stands, you go out in there and that ditch, it'll stand 3 or 4 feet deep and the guys are complaining about it. They're saying, look what this does to my property. And it's like, well, hell, how come that in the middle of summer is so high? Well, when you go over here, you figure it out. It's because Ron's got shut down.
interesting.
Well, when you wonder why that gets so high, well, it's because Wade's are filling it and using it to irrigate.
Interesting, okay.
But it affects everybody else's property out there.
Yeah.
It holds the water level
Yeah.
high, artificially high.
Well, that'd be interesting just to, and like you say, find out who owns it, where's it being used?
And who has rights and whether or not we want to use that long term.
I like.
Well,
that, yeah.
and so you're saying right now, does that mean if they develop this, the waves will stop filling that?
It's-
I suspect it does mean that.
Oh,
It won't be wetland anymore. It'll be. whoever
well, if
that
these
is.
guys do it, wages are selling out, right?
That's right.
Well, and that value of that will be high enough at that point. I suspect these guys, as they develop this and take dirt off, would like to fill that in and
Yeah.
continue the development across the street.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
bet they
now there's
would.
no more, it just.
They won't need it to pump for irrigation.
Property.
They don't. So.
Is that something you would support for them to fill in, or would you rather see it open and maybe even with water in it?
Well, if they're
Until they
pumping
do a
water into
study,
it,
I don't know.
I don't wanna, listen, hold on. Yeah, until you do a study, that's probably fair,
And
because
we can ask that of
look,
these guys.
there's a lot more water in that river. If he's got the rights to pump to it, we don't need to pump to it anymore. Those water can go somewhere else.
To the
We
Salt
need
Lake.
Water, yeah. So that's,
All I know is that wastewater and stormwater system out here is a little complex. A lot of people have rights on it, and before we do anything there, we gotta know what we're doing.
Check it out. Okay.
So, yeah, that's why I wanna do that, Charlie.
Do you want me to write that into the general plan, or do you want me to just convey that on to Gary to start working on, or,
For the study,
yeah, to get a study going? And do you want to commission a study? Do you want us
that's
to
a
hire
damn good
consultants?
question.
It might be controversial with the dairies.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be in the general plan.
I agree.
I'm not sure it has to be there. Do you?
No,
It was something I would like to vote on to get
I mean,
going
I-
right away anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I think we just study it for future and then we can always amend the plan and say, once we have the study, we know kind of who owns it,
Yeah.
where's it going, how's it being used, then we can deal with it.
yeah.
Any guesswork on cost on that kind of study, or do you want us to reach out to some?
I have no idea, Gabe.
I can tell you who we don't want to have do it.
Yeah, so can I.
Not mention any names.
Rick and I will chat with Sean and we'll figure out how to get some, get a budget request over to you guys for that.
Great, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, you got 5 minutes to talk about Doug Harrison.
Okay. Friday, let's turn this off.
About
Okay.
who? Oh, Doug Hampton.
Uh,
I've got to run in 5 minutes too, so.
Well, he's got some kind of a property line issue. What's
Yeah.
this all about?